And we're back. Mel, do you want to roll us that perception roll?
Yep. I got a 5.
Okay, now add your +4.
9.
9. Nine's not bad. Not bad. You draw the map as you see it. Constantly having your head like this doesn't help, but you're working it out how you can. It ends up taking about 3/4 of the page, and it's not the best, but you kind of get what you were going for here. You know, sometimes a turtle doesn't look like a turtle until you color it. My art teacher told me that once. It really stuck with me.
Well, that's very true, actually. Yeah.
Entrances are in the room that we're in.
There are 3. There is a front door, which Sir Tristan walked out of. There is a back door, which you guys originally entered from.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And there is a rather large window behind the throne, which you haven't really looked out of. You're not in a position to. It's behind the dais where the throne would normally be sitting.
Where's our table? Smack in the middle of her?
With your tables about, yeah, it's more toward the front door, but
Okay, well, let's go look out the window.
okay,
To get our bearing.
Yep. Let's do it.
okay. It doesn't really help too much that the window is facing a dramatic view of, I think it's a sea. There's water, a lot of water, like going out in what is basically a cone. It kind of looks like the castle itself is backed up against the sea.
Okay.
It's a really dramatic view, but it's not much help.
If we look up at the map where that star was, can we kind of see, like, if there was a sea around that star?
That star is, if this is a sea, then yeah, that star is definitely accurate to where this castle is.
Okay.
Come here, Aubrey.
I'm
Aubrey, come
and
here.
say that we're not in Kansas anymore.
You need to be
That's
going to
what
bed.
I wasn't in Kansas originally, so
Good night. Okay. I don't know what she said she was going to push.
You're
You
back
hear-
up against the sea.
You hear the door open, and in walks this lady. She is holding a rather large platter with 4 plates and 4 pretty sizable mugs. She comes over to the table and looks at you. She kind of does a half-handed curtsy. "I'm here with dinner," she says in a really light, airy voice. She places the plates around, the mugs, the silverware, gets the table all dressed, curtsies, and then backs up maybe 5 feet, just kind of standing with the platter over her stomach.
Okay. What type of food do we have?
On a whim, you would say that's probably mutton, just judging from the general shape of it.
Okay.
Nuts. What? Nuts?
Mutton.
Mutton. Okay.
Yeah. The flagons have some sort of bubbly, brewy looking thing. On a guess, you would say possibly beer, since soda isn't exactly a thing.
And then
Okay. Yeah. Can I ask the maid to drink some of it? Just to make sure it's not poison or anything.
Christiane, by the way.
Hmm?
She introduces herself. Christiane.
Christiane?
Certainly. She
Okay.
takes one of the rather comically oversized mugs for her and hefts it. You hear her swallow, and you see some of it dribble out on her chin
Okay.
before she puts it back. She kind of winces a little, like she's not much for beer. You know, that sort of new girl, sort of, alcohol burns.
It's obviously to drink and eat up then.
Okay. Where do we eat? Standing?
Well, most people eat at the table.
Yeah, but do we have chairs to sit on the tables?
Yeah, there's chairs.
Alright, let's go to the table. Let's chow down.
You get to the table, you sit, you chow. It's not a familiar taste, but it's really not bad. The spices are a little bit strange to you, but they're not terrible.
Curry.
It almost tastes more like they put currants in this mutton,
Okay.
which isn't something you're used to, but it's not terrible, I don't guess. The beer, on the other hand, is strong. Like, wow, strong.
Sounds like we're good. I'm from Vermont, so we got a bunch of microbreweries and everything everywhere. That's sounds like we're in an okay place.
Does the mutton taste more fresh or more stale?
It's a good question. It's not. It doesn't have that processed taste that mutton usually does. It's kind of still a little bit gamey. The cook isn't exactly the greatest, but it doesn't taste like it's rotten or anything.
Okay.
No.
As you are wrapping up your meal, the waitress, Christiane, bows again, hand on her chest. If it please you, Sir Tristan would like a few words with you.
Sit down here.
Sure.
She bows again, taking what dirty plates you've got, walking out, and immediately in comes Sir Tristan. 20-something mage, looking cocky as the day he came out. He stands over the table. You get the impression that if there were chairs, he would sit like he was a cool teacher who totally understood kids.
That's how my dad sits.
Because he totally understands teens.
Obviously.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Ooh, the beer came back. He has his hands clasped behind his back, and as you eat, he stands by. Do any of you have any questions? I'd imagine this is something wholly strange to you.
Have any wine?
Wine?
I don't like ale.
Actually, it's beer. Ale and beer.
Oh, well,
Technically.
I don't like it.
Okay, I will get you the finest wine from my own private collection.
Could have been cheap. It could have been box wine for all I care. Thank you.
They don't serve it in boxes here. He walks to the door, peeks his head out. It's still open, by the way. You hear him say a couple words before coming back into the room. He stands kind of awkwardly, sort of like a waiter who's only got one table, you know? Like the... Is there anything I can do for you guys? Sort of look. Before finally starting on his own diatribe. The situation is this. Currently, the country is factioned in 4 different ways. The old king had 2 sons, each of whom are competing for the throne. Lord Bladewell has the strongest claim to the throne, in that he has basically threatened that anybody else who puts their butt on it, he says, will soon find it separated from the rest of them. And then there's us. We are struggling to maintain the old king's benevolent rule. You can tell it was benevolent because he closes his eyes when he says the word benevolent.
So who would you have take up the throne?
It's a very tough call. Of course, the selfish person in me wants to say that I could lead the country. But then there is also the idea that Lord Bladewell wanted someone else in his stead. He didn't want it to be an autocratic position. And he actually had goals for one of the heroes of prophecy to seat the throne.
Not it.
You know,
Yeah.
Nose goes.
Death records? Yeah.
not have children. Isn't that how this typically works?
He had 2 children, but he didn't desire the throne to be an autocratic position.
So, how do we fit into this? Why are we the people of prophecy if you're the one who pulled us from our world? Because you're forcing this to happen, Clifton.
Yes, very much so. The world is already a chaotic place, but our land itself is shattered in this tumultuous war that, frankly, has been going on too long already. I would see it ended, and I would see somebody on the throne that I could support and that could lead the people safely and strongly. And so I thought, since the nation was at its most dire, that I would sort of jumpstart the prophecy, so to speak.
Is this prophecy written down somewhere or anything like that?
No, I'm sure it's in one of the old libraries, but mostly people keep oral history here.
So it's like a folk tale.
Yeah, I guess is a better way of saying it.
Yeah, we have a lot of those where I come from.
Really?
Yep. Not a lot of them are true.
Well, I certainly hope this one is. He starts to scratch his wrist a little bit. You can tell he's a little nervous. If I'm being entirely honest, you're not exactly what I thought I would be calling.
Wait, what do you mean by that? That's not backhanded. Search instinct is true. Yes.
Well, I am the true, not the flatterer.
Dick, that's what you are.
Switch just in the dick.
Well, I mean, college days, right?
I only mean that I kind of assumed that the heroes that I summoned would have an innate understanding of our world, how our realm functions. Or at least maybe have a frame of reference.
So you'd think that people who come from another world would understand what's going on in this environment?
Frankly, yes.
Okay, bud. Okay.
Let me explain magic to you.
What?
I don't know how magic works where you're from, but in this world, magic is, well, magical. It can pretty much do anything. Because magic.
So couldn't magic solve your problem?
Yes, actually, it could. It could summon me 4 heroes who would heroically do heroic deeds and eventually stop the Civil War.
Dang it.
But it kind of seems like all I got was a bunch of wise asses.
Yeah, I think you need to get better at magic.
Ooh. Oh, snap.
Okay.
Clearly so.
You have to understand from where we come from, magic is like Chris Angel and David Blaine and just it's like
Nobody likes David Blaine.
I don't,
tricks. It's not actual magic, it's tricks.
I don't think he knows what
Nobody likes David Blaine. Didn't he do that thing where he ate his own hair?
Well, clearly he does know who David Blaine is, Alyssa.
Anyway,
I don't think Trish knows.
unfortunately, judging by a missive I got while you were eating, we may have a confrontation sooner than I would like. As I received a message bird that Lord Bladewell is on his way here to more or less lay siege to the city until everybody agrees that he is the one true king. The onest and the truest.
What? So he's coming here with an army?
I don't know of his the size of his forces, but he will at least have an entourage. That's how he's always been.
Okay.
A
And
very
what do you
egotistical
have,
thing.
Tristan? What do you have here to defend yourself?
I have 4 heroes, a small force
Oh,
of maybe 5 battalions, and some siege equipment.
And Christiane. Okay.
Okay.
And what?
And Christiane.
Oh, I would never put her in battle. She's far too important. Good night, Aubrey.
Oh.
Sneak +2.
Right?
Okay.
Your stealth is leveled up.
Okay. So when is he supposed to make it here?
Judging by his missive, we have 2 days.
Okay.
2 days.
Okay.
It is not much time to prepare.
And that's 2 days of 24 hours.
Sorry, I was really tempted to put out some like weird unit of time just to mess with you. Be like, no, we've got 48 pazoos. What is wrong with you?
Okay. Fantastic.
But no, I'm not gonna do that. Yes, 2 days of 24 hours. So I would wager probably at least 36 hours. He'll probably get here early. He was always very punctual. I admired that about him.
Okay.
Early
Okay.
monster.
Well, the early bird gets the gray worm?
This isn't Game of Thrones.
What's a Game of Thrones?
Seriously?
Doesn't know what that is.
Well, of course Tristan doesn't know what this is.
I don't know this anymore. Remember?
Just trust me, this seems like one, okay?
Okay.
Um,
He holds up his hands in like a surrender. Okay. Okay, thanks, man.
so what can you show us about magic, Tristan? You seem like you would be the one to know. So,
Are any of you gifted with magic? Any of you at all?
Probably not. I don't know.
sir, I work at a bank.
Ah, the magic of numbers is a magic in itself. But alas, he pulls out a satchel and digs inside of it and pulls out 4 small bags, maybe about this big. You know, big enough to fit in the palm, maybe here. He places them on the table, one for the each of you. It's a stipend to help you get equipment so that you can learn about the town, maybe see the lay of the land, and hopefully buy something pants-ish, he says while he kind of darts his eyes over at one of you.
Oh, me.
I don't know what style you wear in the world you're from, but here we believe in armor and weapons.
I was in the comfort of my own house, sir.
God, way to make him seem like a dick. Like, look, I'm not the asshole here. You summoned me from the bath.
Just because mine is visible does not mean that. Okay.
Dancing lights just because it's like, huh? And I just like flick my hand and lights come out.
Oh yeah, that's right, you're playing a bard, aren't you?
I am.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, well congratulations on being the first to cast a spell.
Oh, oh, holy! Oh, did you see that? Did you see that?
Good. I'm glad at least one of you has some talent.
Easy, but
Talent is with a capital T. It very specifically speaks to talent in the arcane arts.
okay.
Otherwise, we just call that skill, because you have to sharpen it.
Okay. So how much is in each of those bags? 200 gold, you said?
Each bag has 200 gold, which, out of character, you guys have already spent. It's just an excuse to get you equipment. And, you know, pants.
If you've already spent it, okay, you buy pants?
Well, yeah, but you guys didn't specifically come here with pants. It would be weird if you came here and you already had full armor. It wouldn't fit the narrative.
Right, but I mean, did her shopping list that she have pants written on it specifically?
I don't know, but let me check. Because you're right. If you think about it, probably ought to have pants. Let's see. Alyssa. Equipment.
Don't worry, if we can't find any pants for you, then we can just probably ask someone for theirs.
Okay, she has studded leather armor, which is basically pants. I mean, it includes pants.
Okay, problem solved.
Thank God.
Why can't we go in priceless?
Nothing, it's just not very good for armor.
Alright.
Okay, so do we plan to strike back? Get this lot bread roll?
First, I will send you into town to purchase your supplies. And please meet me back here in the morning.
Mr. Friendo.
Where are we?
You, miss, he points at Melissa. You seem odd too. Like you may have talent that you haven't quite noticed. Do you... He starts to wave his hands a little before pointing his fingers at you. Do you feel that? Out of character, give me a perception roll. Actually, no, give me an arcana roll. Yeah, we're getting fancy.
Is this still a D20?
This is still a d20. You are adding your arcana skill.
Okay.
Which is under your intelligence.
I got a 2.
Okay?
Intelligence. Yeah.
Looking great.
Okay, I've got a 2 on Under my Arcana is 5.
Okay, so 2 plus 5.
7.
Nice. Okay. You kind of feel like you have to pee a little, but you're not quite sure what you're supposed to be feeling. Is this some sort of Jedi mind trick? He keeps waving his fingers at you. Not quite this dramatically, but I needed something to do with my arms.
Are you trying to draw my method out? Which I don't know. I'm not sure if I have it. I'm trying to do that. Sure, Kristen.
If you feel anything, I feel like you have this emanation of arcana within you. There's a faint trace of mana. Oh. Maybe you just haven't found your knack for magecraft yet. Anyway, that's enough for now. Please, go out among the town and purchase your equipment. With that, he bows, an arm out, toward the door. Please don't cast Firebolt. Please don't let that be your first spell.
At the tapestry.
I point at him and cast the first spell I can think of. Firebolt.
Burn it all.
Melissa, please don't.
Oh, okay.
Please do not. Wait till we're outside.
And then just what? Throw a firebolt straight up in the air?
Obviously.
Yeah, and when it comes down, then what? You guys are playing Firebolt Roulette?
Who says it comes down?
It comes down.
Okay.
Okay.
A firebolt is a projectile with actual weight.
I'm keeping my fireball. Let's go outside.
Okay. The castle around this room is actually pretty straightforward. There's a hall that leads to a main door, and it has several chambers on each side. As you pass by each of the chambers, they are things like a library, there's a dining hall over there, several things of that nature. Over there is a barrack, which is shockingly empty. As you leave the castle, if you look up, it's about, well, you would guess maybe mid-afternoon, possibly late afternoon, 3, 4 o'clock.
Out of character.
Yes.
I am. Is that okay, or is that still considered too bright?
That is a good question. It's disorienting, but it's not exactly harmful. You kind of have a hard time adjusting, but you can still see well enough to walk with the group.
Really bright, or is it just me?
Seems fine to me.
I think she was asking you guys, not me.
Oh, it's good to me.
Bright? Bright.
No brighter than
Really
me.
bright.
It's alright.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Very.
Andrew, you've noticed your compass has stopped spinning.
Nice.
Yeah, magnetic north is behind you.
Cool. Okay.
Cool. As you go out into the town, most of it looks like it's kind of halfway abandoned. Like, the town used to be a lot bigger before a lot of people just massively, moved out. There's houses that are empty. There's market stalls that go without barkers. There's a couple market stalls where just wares are sitting out unguarded. Nobody's even looking at them. People are passing by. Most people seem sort of mopey, not quite dejected, but there's an air of almost depression.
Of what?
Almost depression. Like everybody's just like, 2020.
Can we interact with anyone?
Yeah, you can interact with whoever you like.
Okay. Can we just go up to a random person who seems to be acting all mopey and depressed and just chat with them to say that we're new to the town and just ask some general questions?
He kind of shakes his head a little bit, sort of. Yeah, sorry. Please, feel free. I don't mean to be this. I'm not usually. Please, what did you need to know?
So what's going on here? Why are there so few people here right now?
Oh, you must be new in town. Some time ago, our ailing king was sadly shuffled off this mortal coil. And since then, we've been a land without a ruler. We've been in a civil war that's... We're all waiting for it to end. It's gone on too long, and when the great houses play their wars and their violent uprisings, it's always the little people who suffer.
Okay. How long has it been like this for?
A very long time. It almost feels like I was a boy when it started.
How are you now?
Are you asking him or are you looking at
I'm asking him.
him? Well, I'm a man now. He kind of puffs his chest up.
You're a young man.
Does he have any grays?
He does not. You would probably put him at the oldest 19. Like, at the oldest.
So the age that I'm a man now.
Like, his voice is still cracking. I'm a man! He's got the razor. I am a man.
So you're a little baby.
Okay. Why did it seem to take you a second to kind of realize that we were talking to you? It was like you had to snap out of it.
People don't usually approach me or other people. We haven't exactly been... Everyone mostly keeps to themselves. You don't know who thinks what or who's of a different mind to you, and sometimes it can be dangerous to speak out your mind.
So what do you think?
I think I just want peace. And I want to have a ruler who wants that as well. I don't think that's Lord Bladewell.
Okay. Have you heard about the missive?
Missive.
Don't think that's a good idea to bring up.
What missive?
I just
No, you can't do that.
no. So we were just walking down here and we heard someone talking about a missive.
Did they say what it said?
No, which is why I'm asking you.
Roll me a deception check.
Dum, dum, dum.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you do it. Which for you, that's gonna go off your charisma. D20 plus your charisma modifier.
$18 plus 3. So
Oh, that's a good roll. Okay. I see. I haven't heard anything about it, so I'm afraid I would be the wrong person to ask.
okay.
Is there anything else that I could help you strangers with?
You've been very kind to us so far. Would you be willing to show us to the nearest armory?
Gladly. Before I do, maybe I could show you guys to a tailor.
Look at him. What the hell does that mean?
Who screamed in the back?
What?
I heard a scream in the back. Like it was in one of your guys' backgrounds.
It was not in mine.
Okay.
Mine?
It'll show up in the video, I swear. Okay.
Wait, what do you mean a tailor? What is that supposed to mean?
Well,
Are you making a comment?
well, he scratches his
And
neck
it's
and
like
looks up.
poking him in the chest.
Uh,
Look at me when I'm talking to you, boy.
he crosses his arms and looks anywhere but you. And he's like, people around here, I don't know what country you guys are from. People in this town don't dress like that. It's not the fashion.
And I looked up. Oh, it's the non-pants thing again.
The non-
I see.
It's not just that. You're not wearing any pants. The short one has almost no sleeves. The pretty one has like you're falling out of your shirt, and he
Thank you.
and he. You're actually very handsome. I don't have any complaint about you.
Hey.
In character, but not really in character. So, is the town full of humans, or what is the race or the origin of the townsfolk?
You know what? Give me a minute to think about it, and I'll let you know next time.
Okay,
Huh?
deal.